Hey, what's up everybody? So I after doing my mukbang dinner video an hour or two ago, this kind of just like clicked in my head. In that video, I briefly mentioned going to the doctor last week, and one of the things I talked to him about was that I've been experiencing worsening peripheral neuropathy over like the past like month, maybe like 5-6 weeks. And I don't know why, but it wasn't until I like mentioned that in that video where it registered in my mind. And I'm like, you know what? That would probably be like a pretty important or like pertinent thing to talk about on this channel because, you know, if you've seen some of my videos before, you might be familiar. If you're new, just to give you some context, I've had a history of pretty substantial nitrous oxide abuse, laughing gas, whippets. And I ended up abusing so much that I ended up experiencing a pretty substantial amount of nerve damage, which primarily affected my lower extremities. I wasn't able to walk or stand for several weeks, and then I had a very slow physical recovery of like 18 months to get back to like 99% normal. And so through that and onwards up until, you know, like a month ago, I've had off and on peripheral neuropathy. If you're not familiar with what peripheral neuropathy is, it's nerve pain. People experience it a little differently, person to person. For me, it feels kind of like when you have that pins and needles feeling, but it feels more stabby or like more sharp, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. But it's never really been that bad. Like it's kind of ebbed and flowed like a tiny bit, like, you know, anywhere from like a 1 out of 10 on the pain, like barely noticeable, maybe at max to like a 3 out of 10, you know, where it's, hey, I can do something to distract myself and I'm not really focus on the pain. And it's kind of just come and gone. I don't really know why. It's interesting that I was able to regain most of my motor function, but my sensory nerves have still been, like in my feet, like I can feel like pressure, like if something's touching, but I can't feel like that fine touch anymore. It's just kind of a bit number. It's not completely numb. But yeah, for some reason I've still like, I guess it must just be like remnants of nerve damage. And so, yeah, like I said, like it's kind of ebbed and flowed, but no more than like 3 out of 10, like where, you know, I couldn't distract myself. But for some reason over the past, well, I guess before, I have had like periods, I have made videos like 6 months back, maybe 7 months back, how I was experiencing some like numbness in my hand, which kind of felt like almost like this nerve like going through your arm was like pinched. That lasted a few weeks, and then that hasn't been a problem anymore, thankfully. I don't know if that was a result of me like weightlifting weird or something, or gaining muscle and it was putting pressure on the nerve. I don't know. But over the past month, like I said, 5-6 weeks, I don't know why, but the neuropathy has like jumped up to about like 5 out of 10. It's definitely gotten more intense. I shouldn't say intense. It's not like I'm like writhing in pain, but definitely getting to the point where it's harder to distract myself, and it's more kind of, I can just feel it like regardless of what I'm doing. So if I'm meeting with a recovery during a coaching session, you know, I can focus on what they're saying, but I still feel that like burning, stabbing feeling in my toes and my feet, and then a bit in my hands. And I don't know why, and so that's why it's pretty concerning, honestly, which is why, again, I wanted to make this video, and I apologize for not thinking of making this before. I guess, I don't know, so when I went to the doctor, he, was concerned as well, of course, and so he wrote or provided a referral to neurology, and apparently I have to wait 2 weeks, and then call them, or they'll call me, and they have to get authorization for insurance to, be seen. So hopefully I do, but hopefully I'll be able to be seen by neurology. I'm not sure what they'll be able to do. Maybe they'll do some imaging. I was supposed to have imaging when I went to the emergency department way back when in 2020, a few months after the onset of my nerve damage. I went to the emergency room, which I was reluctant to do because I knew there's nothing that they can do. And there wasn't. They prescribed me vitamin B12, but other than that, nothing really. But they were going to refer me to neurology as well, or at least they brought up getting some imaging done. And in hindsight, I really regret not going and doing that. It would have been nice to know where exactly the nerve damage was and to what extent. And I guess to maybe get like a baseline, but I was just so depressed and distraught at the time that I just was like, I don't give a shit. Like, hopefully I'll just pass away. Maybe this will, factor into shortening my life. Or at the very least, I just don't care. I'm just going to blow it off and just drink all day long. So I don't know if with this referral, if they'll do any sort of imaging or if there's any tests that they can do to kind of see what's going on. I don't know if maybe it's just like the damage is catching up to me, like especially with me getting older. I do turn 37 later this year, which I know is not super old, but so it's been over 5 years since the onset of the nerve damage. So I was able to recover from it physically, but sensory wise, it seems like, I've had some neuropathy, but it's just gotten worse for some reason. So I really wonder what's going on with that. Yeah, it could just be catching up to me finally. So that's why I want to make this video and kind of just update everyone. Because I don't think I've really talked about my neuropathy in any of my other videos, because it's never really been that much of an issue. Like I said, like usually just like around 1 to 2 out of no more than like a mild headache. So it's like, I never really talked about it. But with it jumping up to 5 out of 10, and obviously getting worse, it's like, yeah, that's concerning me, that's concerning the doctor. I should probably share that with all of you, because I do like to be open and transparent, and that is something, one of the things I focus on my channel. So so that's good news. Hopefully that I'll get approved to do the referral, and they can maybe figure something out. And then in the meantime too, thankfully, thank God, my doctor prescribed me some gabapentin. I've been prescribed gabapentin at nighttime to help me sleep for quite a while now. It's been a few years, and it's been pretty helpful for me to in terms of sleep. Kind of just like calms me down, or like makes me a bit drowsy, puts me more into bedtime mode. But it's also has been helpful, and this isn't why I've been prescribed it, but it's kind of also had the side benefit of helping the neuropathy. That's one medication that can help with peripheral neuropathy, the nerve pain. So it's like kind of been especially effective, even though the pain wasn't, bad enough to distract me from sleeping. But lately, I wouldn't say it's like still been distracting, because like it seems like the dose I've been taking at night is about enough to quell it. So at nighttime, it hasn't been as bad. So it hasn't really been just like much of a distraction in sleep. But otherwise, I wasn't prescribed gabapentin for neuropathy, specifically for neuropathy. So I never had any medication to take during the day. So I'm very fortunate. My primary care physician did prescribe me 1 cap of gabapentin to take in the morning and 1 cap to take in the afternoon. He started me off at 300. It seems like it's been helping a little bit. I'd say it's been bringing the pain down to like 4 out of 10, so it's definitely improving, but still hurts more than it has been. At night, I'm very fortunate. At night, I take a dose of 900 milligrams, and that really seems to help quite a bit. Like that has been keeping the pain down to like 2 out of 10. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Anyone that's going through something similar, can you relate? I know I've gotten comments on here before, people talking about being in similar situations with abusing lots of nitrous, ending up with like nerve damage and like difficulties with walking and neuropathy. But I don't know if there's anyone watching this that has had that happen several years ago. And if you can comment on, how your progression has been like after getting physically recovering to some extent. Have you been stable this whole time, or have you also noticed like a worsening in some symptoms as time has gone on? I know it's very niche. Like the nitrous oxide abuse is already pretty niche. Like there's not a whole bunch of people doing it in the first place. So me asking someone that has had the nerve damage from abusing a lot of it, and then having that happen like a while ago, like 5 years ago, that's going to be a very small percentage of people. Although I guess, with these videos, maybe it might attract people in those situations, so maybe that's a higher percentage. But still, I don't know if there's anyone that can relate that has since recovered and it's been several years. Or, even if it hasn't, I don't know, just leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions. I've been taking vitamin B12. That doesn't seem to be helping. I haven't taken it for like very often. Like I take a multivitamin that has some B12 in here, but I haven't specifically been taking B12. But I since the nerve pain, there it is. Since the nerve pain, I've been worsening nerve pain. I've been taking B12 and it doesn't seem like it's been helping. And if anything, I've been probably taking too much of it because they did draw my B12 last Thursday and it was like super elevated. So the doctor advised me to cut back on that, so I have, which is fine because like I said, it didn't seem to be helping too much. So let me know if you have any suggestions, like if there's anything that's helped you, maybe I can bring up to my doctor, or if you know of like any other supplements that might help, or just anything. I don't know, maybe it just would be nice to know that I'm not alone in experiencing this, because like I said, it's worrying because I've been stable, I've been doing well for so long, and to have a change, and I know it's only been about a month, 5 weeks give or take, so it hasn't been happening for a whole long. Maybe this is just like a little blip, but it is still kind of concerning that it's lasted throughout those 5 weeks. It's not like it's only been a week and then got better. So yeah, I don't know, it could just be catching up to me, could be age. I just figured like my nerves would have healed and like that would be it, but I don't know, dude. So I'll keep you guys updated when I find out more information, like if I end up going to neurology and getting some tests done and what those results are. I'll keep you updated with that. And then, yeah, if anything else happens, if it improves, I'll see how this gabapentin helps take during the day. Like I said, it does seem to be helping a little bit, so I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, hopefully maybe I'll just go like, this is just like some sort of anomaly for like a month or two and then goes back down. If not, then I just hope it's not a sign that, you know, my physical and my nervous system health is declining, because that would be pretty concerning. So yeah, let me know. I just, if you guys have support or suggestions, I would really love to hear it. Yeah, not kind of, this is starting to make me feel like I was when the nerve damage first happened. Kind of, I wouldn't say like, you know, I'm feeling like completely hopeless or super depressed, or like terrified, but it is kind of reminded me a bit about that now that I'm kind of speaking about it, and it's kind of like sinking in. But I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know if it gets worse, gets better, what happens with neurology, and I'll definitely read your comments if you have any good suggestions. So thank you for listening to me ramble about my concerns with my neuropathy. I hope it gets better, and if you're in a similar situation, I hope yours gets better as well. So we'll support each other as best as we can, right? So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.